everyone, and welcome to Red Time Stories. I'm super excited that you have joined us back, and I'm very excited about our guests that we have today. A little bit about Red Time Stories. We're here to do things that have to do with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness while protecting our First Amendment rights. We have a lot of great things planned for not just this show, but all of our future shows and platforms, both locally and nationally. I'm looking forward to a lot of the guests that we're going to be bringing in to talk about common topics that we have here locally and nationally, from here to Florida. We're gathering stories that we hear to investigate and find out if they're fact or fiction. Locally and nationally, as I said, we're going to break those stories, especially when it comes to corruption. That's a big thing that's been on topic lately, not just in our national government, but also in our local governments as well, even within our party. We need to have everyone involved, and we need these types of platforms and avenues, because we don't know whether mainstream media is really telling the true story or the faux stories. So let's keep up with the theme of America. We are the home of the brave and the land of the free, and I'm looking forward to many segments as street talking from all over. I'm super excited. We have some of those segments that are going to be coming up from the Midwest, where we're going to be having people go out in what we call the red zone, talking and hearing stories from Americans, what their concerns are, what it's like there, what's different, even in the GOP. We want to hear those stories and those concerns. And hey, you can help us by sending in your ideas for content. You can email me at writeasred, RIGHTASRED at pm.me. Send us a 2 or 3 minute video and we'll put it on some of our future segments. So without further ado, besides the fact, I want to say hi to our friends and family over there in Scotland who are tuning in. But anyway, so without further ado, we have several guests who are running for the coveted seats at the state level, from the vice chairs to the state chairs to the treasurers for the Republican state seats here for the Hawaii Republican Party. And so without further ado, we're going to start with our first guest, who is running for vice chair of candidate and recruitment. So let's bring her on. There we go. Terry. Hi, Terry. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you a lot.
I'm super glad that you are able to come on and tell us a little bit about yourself. And I was hesitant about saying your name. I've tried to practice it and I don't want to tear it up. So if you can tell people how to say your name correctly, that would be great.
So my full name is Terry Keala Ona Pua Kia Savaina Ea.
Okay, there's going to be a test afterwards, and I'm not going to be participating in that test. But so anyway, say that one more time.
Terry Keala Ona Pua Kia Savaina Ea.
Okay, awesome. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, and then go into what made you decide to run for this position for the Hawaii State Republican Party?
So I was born here in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. I'm married. I have 3 adult sons, and God and my family is my why. I decided to run for this seat because I truly believe that I can bring in the people. I've done it for my district, and and I've done it also as the regional vice chair for the Leeward Oahu, and I truly believe I can bring in the people. I love to pound the pavement. When I got appointed as district chair, May 2022, I had to, call people, and we tried to do letters and mailers, and that really wasn't effective. So myself and Blanca Larson, we put on our tennis shoes, grabbed our water bottles, and we pounded the pavement in talking to the people in the district, actually knocking on doors. And if they weren't home, we put little ribbons with a little invite on their doorknobs or on their fence. And that was more effective in getting people to our district meeting, our first district meeting. And less than a month later, I was elected as the district chair, June 20th, 2022. and moved up in ranks. And now I'm the regional vice chair as of March 25th.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I came into this position. I had 7 districts under my belt, and only one of them was actually organized, and that was District 45, my district. And now, as of today, I can say, because of the people that have stepped up, it's not about me. It's about the people who stepped up and said, I'll do it. I actually have 4 districts that are organized and 3 more to go.
Awesome. So basically with you have 3 more districts to go, and it sounds like with your experience what you're doing is the face to face, the handshaking and the knock and talks is what
Yeah.
is more effective. And it seems to me to when you're trying to rebuild faith and trust within the citizens along with the party, and we're in a blue state, it's also follow up and making sure that you have integrity and follow through and listening. I know that that's really important. Instead of, I know that some people, they like to sit out there and the only time that they pay attention to people is when they need their votes, which is really sad. Now, I know here in the last year, we had, I think it was 102 candidates that ran for office statewide, which was a tremendous turnout. However, the sad part, I think, is that we only had a minimal amount of candidates win. I believe 6 additional candidates that won out of 102. Now, coming in, if you got elected as the recruitment vice chair, what do you think you could do to capitalize in ensuring that we would have more people be successful in winning those spots instead of 6 out of 102?
Well, the main focus is, collaboration, regardless of who wins. Um, who wins chair, it doesn't matter, because bottom line is, it's about the people. It's about going out there and finding the cream of the crop. It's about, sifting through and seeing who wants to step up, who wants to be that leader, who wants to take charge. Too long we've been on lockdown, and people are starting to come out of their shell. They're like, I want to do it. If you can do it, I can do it. I'm like, yeah, if I can do it, you can do it, because I knew nothing about Robert's rules, never even heard of such a thing before even getting involved with the party. And I've learned so much, and that knowledge has been passed down to my district, in that I've purchased Robert's Rules of Order books for them so that they can, become the leaders and step up as I move up, because, you don't want to be the person that keeps moving up in rank and there's no one to, follow you behind. And I have a district that has strong people that were willing to step up. So, the vice chair said, I'll be the chair. And, they voted her in, like, everyone. There was no other person they nominated. She was the one. And then the next person came up was from a precinct. He was a precinct president, and they voted him unanimous. It was like, wow. So pretty much they're all in sync about, they know who's the leaders, who wants to step up. And that's what we have to do, is sift through that pile. And it's going to be painstaking, but you know what? It's so worth it, because people are missing that interaction, that talking. In Hawaiian, we call it vala'au. So it's like talking, getting real with the people. And that's what it's all about, getting real, finding those people, giving them the tools and support. Like, it's not just support, like hand them a book and say, okay, here you go. This is how to be a candidate. It's literally grabbing them, locking arms. It's not, I'm up here and they're down here. No, it's like, lock arms, let's move in sync together and do this, and give them the support that they need and the tools, not just a book. Some people kind of need their hand to be held, like, hey, it's okay, we're going to do this together, let's go. And some people, you can just hand them the book and say, hey, this is what you got to do, let's do it and go. So everyone has their own uniqueness. And, I feel like I'm able to pull that uniqueness out of them and work with what's strong in them and support what is weak in them. And that to, pretty much motivate that part in them that they're lacking. Yeah, Yeah, that's
So it
I
sounds
can
like
see that.
it sounds like what you're trying to do is really a hands-on motivation from the grassroots up,
Yes,
which
ma'am.
I feel is really really important,
Yes.
and we have to acknowledge and inspire people from the bottom up instead of being a dictatorship from the top down. I know
Agree.
that you have to catch a flight because you're headed over to the convention in Hilo that's happening this weekend. So why don't you take the next couple minutes and say why people should vote for you? Talk to the delegates right now that are watching and why you would be a better candidate and a better choice for that position you're running for.
Well, my experience that I laid out in my speech, but also online on my flyer, speaks for itself. What I've done. Um, I mean, I don't need anybody to endorse me, because really, at the end of the day, is what have you done, and what do the people have to say that you've done? And I've done. I know I've done well, and it's because of the people behind me helping me, holding me up, and pretty much saying, let's do this together, because it's a team effort. It's not about me, it's about the we in the
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Because far too long we've wielded too many one and done candidates, and we all know it's rare that a first time candidate ever wins. That's part of my
Mm-hmm.
speech. And like, my plan is to recruit early, train early, provide the candidates with the support and tools they need, and just lock arms and run.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. How can people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me through my email. It is TERIS like Sam 2016 2016 at gmail.com. Or you can call my cell phone 808-763 7432.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Terry, for being on. Have a safe flight. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Saturday.
Yes, God bless Hawaii and God bless America. Mahalo.
Awesome. Aloha.
Aloha.
Well, there we have Terry, and I really don't want to mess up her name, but take her into consideration. She's a hard worker, a good woman, and for those of you who are flying over to Oahu, take the time to ask questions of your candidates. That's the most important thing. It's not a slate run. You don't have to vote for everybody that's on that slate piece of paper. Each person has their own checkbox, and I totally encourage you to meet with each one of them, ask them the hard questions, and then make your decision. Don't vote because you think they're popular or because they're on one team. Vote because these people are trying to represent and turn the party around for the good of the people, for the well-being of the state of Hawaii. So now, without further ado, I'd like to bring on our next three paneled guests who are running for Vice Chair of Communications for the Hawaii Republican Party seats. We have Gil Logan and Anna Odom, and where's my guest? Let's bring them on. Emil,
Aloha.
for China. I swear, I'm telling.
Perfect. Very
Oh, I did
close.
it? Oh, okay, okay,
Very
okay.
close to the original. All right.
All right, awesome. Um, let's see. We're gonna bring, as soon as we can, we'll bring on Adam Odom. She's having a little bit of connection difficulty, it seems like. So if we could get with that as soon as she comes on. So let's start until we can get Anna on here. How about Emil? If you start with yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you have decided to run for this coveted seat.
Oh, that's a loaded question. But anyway, uh, you know, my, I am always active within Republican Party, but I keep criticizing what's lacking, which is the communication, because we need to educate the public. That's how you're gonna get people vote for Republicans. That's how you're gonna get more Republican elected to the office. This is the mantra here. They are repeating it, but they do nothing to do it. We have to be educated. There have to be sense of the party quality. So we cannot, ask people to join the organization which is, polluted by so many, scandals and and some kind of financial shenanigans, which we know all about. But we have to be sincere. We have to bring people in, because this has to be again the real opposition to the tyrants which are running this state for 7 decades already, to Democrats. And so far what I'm looking at is a party which became a control opposition. I escaped from communism, so Lenin, for example, was taught to us as a major hero. And I remember one of his quote was, the best way to control your opposition is to control it yourself. So that's what I believe is happening with the Republican Party here. But this is why I'm trying to bring even my expertise. I was running for office already 3 times for House, twice for Senate, twice for City Council since 2008. I at least I run for the fact that I can talk to the people, I can educate few more, and hopefully the next time, 2 years later, there will be more people, educated, and they will understand that in this country, in America, we the people are in power, but we have to be willing to ask for that right, what we have, and we have to be willing to step up, get out of the comfort zone and, participate. So a Republican Party to me is this vessel where we can really connect a lot of people, create these alliances here, and create the true opposition to this tyranny, because it's all about our lives and the future of our children. I'm father of 5, so I've heavily invested in the future. So I really want to make sure they live in something what I believed I am escaping to, but finding out it's not so easy. So we have to be the one responsible to cleaning it up and bring it back what the founding fathers had intended for this country.
Thank you, Emil. I just had a quick question. Getting to know you a little bit more, heard of you through the past couple years, and since we don't have a connecting road, it's a little bit difficult for us to all build relationships. But I find it interesting. So if you could just a little bit before I go on to our other guests, and then I'll let each of you ask each one question as well. So I hope you guys got that one question prepared. Can you tell the people what country you came from? And I'm curious, why did you decide to become part of the Republican Party and not the Democrat Party?
That's simple. I escaped from Czechoslovakia, which is the heart of Europe. And, I couldn't travel basically. So we had to wait for the opportunity when we got permission from the communists to go west, to travel to Switzerland, Italy, Germany. Anyway, I didn't return. So I decided to go straight to the United States because, I was educated about that country, about the founding principles. And, why did I join the Republican Party? It wasn't, rocket scientist decision for me. It was obvious because the Democrats to me are basically socialists, something what I was escaping from. So, I would never join that bunch of people. But unfortunately, they hold the power here. So that's why I was starting with that thing that, this Republican Party is controlled opposition of them. Otherwise, there is no other explanation why 7 decades we are still, one party state.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emil. So next we have Anna Odom. Thank you so much for being able to join in. We're super excited when as many people that can get out there and get their voices heard. So go ahead and tell people who you are and why you decided to run for the Vice Chair of Communications as well.
Actually, I'm running for community services, but I appreciate that I'm on the panel with the communications candidates, because I do feel like a big part of what we're going to do with community services is going to need communications to definitely get the word out. And, we're a team and we all have to find ways that we work with each other. And so I'm really excited about working with communications and the other state executives that are voted in to make a well-oiled machine so that all of our visions, all of our ideas can come into fruition, which is why I decided to run for community services, because ever since I joined the party back in 2019, everything that we do is for the common goal of growing the party and getting Republicans elected. But it also gives us a chance to connect with our community. And so I noticed that a lot of the things that I was involved in kind of went back to community services, getting back to the heart of the people, their needs. And a lot of their needs in the beginning were they just needed somebody to listen. They felt like they were alone. So the community really grew through the Trump era and our Trump rallies, because all those people who felt like there was no voice, there was no recognition, there was no kinship, right? They found out, oh wait, the Republican Party exists. They're supporting our Republican candidate, and they're here and they're alive, and there's more than just 5 of us. So that really woke up a lot of us, right? In terms of people wanting to be heard and what they felt their needs were. And one of the biggest needs we had when I joined right after COVID was everybody was on lockdown. And we locked down our children. We took schools away. We took the parks away. So by the time Halloween came around and we had all these children just completely locked up in their house, not seeing their friends, barely seeing family, the amount of people that came out for that rally, just the kids alone, there were so many kids. We had so many businesses that I was able to be a part of that. EK Fernandez, they supplied so many things just for that one community effort so that people could feel alive again, feel like they were a part of their community and that they weren't just shuffled off into their homes to be by themselves. So once I saw what that created, that just something inside me was just like brewing, like we've got to do more of this, because the more times we got together for community, the more our party grew through those common efforts. We were having conversations with people we would have normally never had conversations with. So the beauty of community services is it's nonpartisan, right? It belongs to everybody. So whatever we put out there, we're not just putting out there for Republicans, we're putting it out there for the community in need. The community that says, hey, this is where we're lacking, or this is where you could be a stronger party in our community. Can you help us fill in the blank? And then having our district chairs and having all of the people who are already entwined in the party and being a part of being an active volunteer, we pull more people in that way. We build, we build, and we build. But I've noticed time and time and time again, people come out to support things that they feel good about. They feel useful. They feel a part of something. And community services, and especially with this party, the possibilities are endless. Like, I'm so excited to just bring to the table so many ideas from so many different people, right? Because it's basically a clean slate at this point. We can really do what we want with it. And what do we want it to do? We want it to service our communities, but we also want it to grow our party. And we also want people to understand what it actually means to be a Hawaiian Republican, right? Because we get a bad rap. We're told that we're not involved. We're told that we don't care about the community. I've heard so many times from liberal Democrats that Republicans don't care about you after you're born. So I think this is a really good opportunity for Republicans to stand up in the communities that they live in, that service us, that these islands service us, and we got to give back. And so I'm just truly, truly humbled to just even be in this position. But I'm so excited for the party and where community services can uplift the party and build better connections with our community, because right now we're still very heavily divided by COVID rules, politics. We need to start talking about those things that we actually agree on. And I think community services is a wonderful place for that to start.
I agree. Thank you so much, Anna. Sorry, I said the wrong office, but
Oh,
I'm
no
super.
worries.
Yeah, but one of the most important things that you did say in your speech, which is what we need to do and see more of. One of the first things that came out of your mouth that I thought was very important is working together. You mentioned working together with communications and being involved in community service. I know that being in the community service committee with you, ran by Jeff Coakley, that it started to build a great camaraderie within the community. And it was it was building trust within the party at that time when we were doing events like that with the blood drive and socks and slippers and feeding the homeless and so forth. It was extremely important, and it was an opportunity to be one-on-one, just like what Terry and Emil said as well, is getting our hands dirty within the community and not just doing the community service. Everything is a coalition in itself, in talking to people and building our relationships and our trust. And we have a lot of work ahead of us at the grassroots level to rebuild the trust and foundation within the party, because a lot of people are very disgruntled right now. Now, before I go on and move on to Gil, just real quickly, what do you think is something that we could do with community service to help rebuild the trust and the faith within the party?
I think the best way to rebuild trust is through our actions, because people are just tired of hearing us say what sounds good, what looks good on paper. Because sometimes what looks good on paper, when it comes to fruition, we've definitely learned in Hawaii, it's not, we don't always get the outcome that we had hoped for. So we can talk all day about the things that we would like to do and how we would like to see it, really streamline community services and the Republican Party. But honestly, we got to get back to the heart of what brings us to the table. And if we're out there and they see our authenticity, that we truly care about what we're doing, then the words of the other side, they also lose power. And then we're just looking at what we've done. And so for me, I think the best way to build trust within our communities is to be in our communities and show our communities that they're being heard by offering solutions to the issues that they might have. Or it might even just be a service issue. Like, community services isn't just about feeding the homeless or, having a school drive. Community service means that we're a community and we are servicing everybody. So even to the point of making sure our deaf folks, our blind folks, like all of the people who want to be active just within their state, we're reaching them too. So it's communicating, getting everything out there for as many people to see, but then driving that home with our actions. And I hope all of the projects that get through, because what I'm hoping for is a huge team of volunteers, because the chair position is just a position to say, hey, I'm your rock. I'm your leader. This is the foundation in which we start to work from. But I'm not the team. I'm one person helping carry that team. And so I hope that the more people that join, the bigger that family grows, and the more we can service our communities to help build that trust again.
Okay. Awesome. Well, stay, don't go anywhere. Hopefully we can get Emil back on, because I do have, I have a final question before I want all of you to give your closing thoughts and how people can get a hold of you. But Gil, the starting question for you too, because you're running again for Vice Chair of Communications. And why don't you tell the people why you're running, and of course a little bit about yourself too.
Sure, and what great ideas we've just heard from Anna and Emil. That's awesome. So with that said, thanks for having me on. And again, I'm Gil Logan, and I'm technically running for re-election for the Vice Chair of Communications position. I've been in this role for a short time, for about 6 weeks now. There was a special election to fill an incompleted term. So I've been in the role for about 6 weeks at this point. In my time there, I'll focus on that in just a few minutes, but I've seen a lot of things that we could do much better with. But let me go back a little bit about myself. My wife and I moved here to Hawaii about just under 10 years ago. We came from Virginia, and at one point, Virginia was a deep red state. And we both took for granted that it always would be a red state. And then suddenly in 2008, it was not a red state anymore. And it was a remarkable negative turnaround. Now, since then, we've seen it flip back, but it's not a given which way it'll go at this point. It's more almost like a purple state in many ways. And Hawaii has been a blue state for so long, I think people take for granted that it'll always be that way. But if you can flip a state like Virginia one way, then you can flip a state like Hawaii the other way. I'm totally convinced of that. And I think we all are. I think we're all in agreement with that. little bit about my background. I've spent about 25 years or so at some higher level of management. I was a human resources director for healthcare system for a good while. I have a background before that in retail as a director. I've been in higher education for a long time, but it's been my focus only over the last 10 years, let's say. And I've been director and am currently the manager of the business program at University of Hawaii. And educational background is a little unique, and it's allowed me to kind of bring some things together a little bit. I actually have a master's degree in English communications, and I have a PhD in business management. So one of the things I've done is bring those two things together to really focus on business communications. I've spent a good amount of time working directly with companies and doing communications training with companies like Pfizer, Wells Fargo, the Grand Wailea Resort, and others. And, companies and organizations, they often fail because of lack of communication. And I think we're seeing that within the Hawaii Republican Party right now. And there are a lot of things we could criticize specifically, but suffice to say, it's internal communication. It's also external communication. There's just a lack of messaging about what we are and what we do. And if we could get that message out, then and make it clear, then we would obviously have much more success. Now, my time, I'm a lifetime Republican, lifetime conservative, and since moving to Hawaii, again, seeing the deep blue state and seeing what that's done to the state, I really wanted to get involved more specifically with the Republican Party here. I've been a district chair for District 11 in Maui. I served as a vice chair of communications for the Maui County Republican Party. And like I say, over the last 6 weeks or so, I'm currently serving as the vice chair for the Hawaii Republican Party.
Aren't you currently also District 11 Precinct 1 chair as well?
I am, yes.
Contrary to challenges.
Exactly. So yes. So I've been involved, with those levels. It's kind of ironic after moving here. My wife's uncle is actually he's retired at this point, but he was U.S. Congressman Tom Bellally for about 30 years back in Virginia, and he just watched through re-election every time because he was a Republican. And if he were out here, he might have a much more difficult time in a different era. In any case, to echo what Anna said, we really need to work together. Communications is so important, and it's not just about the website. It's not just about social media. One thing she talked about was just simply listening to people. And I think that's something that's lacking right now, particularly from the top to the bottom, so to speak. The old idea of organizational charts is really a dated thing. The state should not be dictating to the counties and the precincts what to do. We should be collaborating, working on our vision, our mission, our messaging, our communications. We certainly need to clean up the website and clean up the social media, but we also need to get together and really figure out, listen to people, particularly again at the county and local precinct levels, and see exactly what they want. And from my experience just in the last weeks and months, I know one of the things they want is transparency. They want to know what's going on at the state level and why they're not hearing certain things from the state level. A final comment that, the old saying that Ronald Reagan used to say, the 8 words you don't want to hear: I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Well, I think sometimes here you might say, I'm from the state and I'm here to help. And people are going to respond a little negatively to that and question that. So I think we need to fix those things. And I hope to be in the midst of that for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. So we are running out of time for this segment, but I definitely want to ask this question, and then I want to give each of you like 60 seconds to do a closing statement, and how people can get a hold of you. I want each one of you, starting with you, Emile. Do you feel that this election coming up on Saturday is going to be fair? Do you think it's going to be a fair election on Saturday?
It's gonna be as we gonna make it. So it could be shenanigan, it could be fair. It's up to the delegates how they gonna run the show, because it's their responsibility to be responsible for whatever's gonna happen. So hopefully they are educated. They are not just some paid delegates who were paid to be over there to vote a certain way. I hope there will be people as a sovereign human beings which will have their conscience, and they will listen to that and they will vote because of that. So it could be either way.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Anna? Do you think Saturday is going to be a fair election?
As much as our party talks about integrity and election fairness and all of the things that come with a rightful and true election, I pray that we have a fair election.
Thank you. And
It's
you,
what we
Gil?
deserve.
Yeah, we definitely do, without influence and bribery, as Emile was saying. Gil, how about you? Do you think Saturday is going to be a fair election?
I hope so, of course. Fair or not, I firmly believe that the good guys will win. We do the right things and we get in front of the right people. And I think that we can be successful, whether there are shenanigans or not. We can still win this and we can help save this party.
Thank you, Gil. Anna, you want to start with giving your 60-second speech of why people should vote for you and how they can get a hold of you?
Thank you so much. Well, I just want to say again that this is a team effort. I truly hope that I'm voted in as the leader of the team. I think I have, good, strong visions that we can bring to the table and discuss. It's not a dictatorship. It never should be. It should be about us working together as a team, community service, community led, right? And in order to get in touch with me to ask me more about my campaign or myself, you can reach me at annaodom.96707@gmail.com. I'm also heavily on all social medias. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. You can find me under Anna Odom or AOdom808 under all of those social medias. And again, DMs are open, text messages are open. I'm very transparent. I have plenty to say, but I also know that you also have plenty to say. And I look forward to working with everybody who decides that their first action of being a part of community services is joining the community services committee once we get that rolling. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna. Okay, Gil, your 60 seconds.
One of the things I want to do right from the get-go, right after the election, is I want to meet with the county chairs and work to develop a strategic communications plan. And that plan needs to be driven from the precincts and needs to be driven upward from those precincts to the counties, et cetera. So we're going to put that plan together pretty quickly, and then we're going to go out and do it. And we're going to work pretty quickly with that. So I would like the opportunity to have a full term as the Vice Chair of Communications, and I promise to bring to the table my experience, my empathy, and my enthusiasm for sure. Best way to reach me is multiple ways, but email is rrrtennis@yahoo.com. That's 3 R's and tennis at yahoo.com. Phone number 804-878-7835, and social media as well. And again, thanks so much for the opportunity to be in this afternoon, and look forward to seeing everybody this weekend.
Thank you so much, Gil. And last but not least, Emile, your 60 seconds.
Thank you so much for having this forum. Number one, it's fantastic venue to express people's opinion, so people know who are the candidates, what they are running for. I personally would focus on something which was lacking for so many decades already here, which is the transparency. I am absolutely hard believer that we have to give the people the tools, including the information. So I'm totally against all this secrecy and confidentiality. We have to open the party to the people because it's supposed to be GOP last time I checked, which means government of the people. So, they are the power, not the executive committee. So, we have to get this corporate mentality out of this party and start running it the way like it's supposed to be, which is bottom up, grassroots up. And that's what I will communicate everything. I want to have the charts on a website which will show everybody without any shame that we have some districts which are not popular. There are no presidents, there are no district chairs. So what? We will show it to the people. It's going to be website which will be go-to place for the Republicans in Hawaii. So they will really find everything, including the links to the campaign spending commission. So we know who is the big player, who is the donor, who is the big donor. So we have to sing their song. No, we have to be inside. We have to be in power as we the people. Otherwise, it's not America anymore. It's going to be some kind of corporate, something. So anyway, you can reach me at Emil, EMILSVRCINA @gmail.com, and hopefully the best win. And as long as we start communicating and debating among ourselves, this party will be united, and we will have naturally people drawn to this party, and they will be running for offices, and we will have true Republicans in those positions of power, which is the government right now. Aloha.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I loved hearing from every one of you and taking your time out. I hope you all have a safe flight, and I'll either see some of you tomorrow or Saturday. Should be exciting. Hopefully we'll have a peaceful gathering regardless if we disagree. But you, to the audience, you have some candidates to think about. The delegates who can vote on Saturday, please remember that you have a choice. It's not by slate, and you do have good choices here. So with that being said, before we head on to our next segment, which is going to be candidates for the state chair, here's a moment from our sponsor, from Be Nourished. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Honey. It's one of the greatest gifts to man. With millions of wildflowers in every bottle, the nourishing power of honey is still yet to be fully discovered. Be Nourished Healing Products combines healing ingredients from around the planet to the purest honey from the island of Maui to bring magic to your taste buds. The best honey from the most beautiful place to nourish your body, mind, and soul. From our hearts to yours, be nourished.
Aloha, everyone. I hope that you take the time and go visit the Be Nourished website. They have amazing products, and we're very grateful that they've been a faithful sponsor to Liberty Arise and Red Time Stories. So without further ado, we're going to bring on two candidates for the state chair position. We have Charlotte Rosecrans and Michale Jauch. So we're going to bring them on right now, and we're kind of going to go a little bit with that. It seems like we got a little bit of an echo here, so let's try and work through that a little bit. Let's see. Did the echo go away? It did. So how about I'll mute when it's Michael's turn, but let's go ahead and start with Charlotte. Charlotte, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and why you decided to run for this very important seat for the Hawaii Republican Party for the state chair.
Hi, thank you, Tamara, first and foremost, for having this forum. I appreciate all your hard work and what you have been doing these past 2 years being in the party. Um, who am I? I'm just a small lady that's taken care of my son for 20 years, a single mom. I've been in the party since I think I came in 2019, but kind of faded away and then came back kind of in the late of 2020 because of Trump pushing, getting involved with your HRP. Being that I only voted like 5 times before coming in the party because I'm not natural. I was born in California, but my roots actually come here. My grandmother's pure Hawaiian. So my roots come back to Hawaii. Being brought up in the Big Island, I was told, voting was a waste of time, and I had that mentality until one day I did go to the mainland and I seen a whole different world. Coming back and realizing what really woke me up was when the pandemic came in. I got my constitutional classes done, and I just was blown away how they were stripping away all our freedoms and our liberties. And knowing that the posterity was being dumbed down, I knew I needed to stand up and do something. So that's kind of where it kind of got me into being in the Republican Party. I was elected as the regional vice chair. That's similarly to how you guys are on outer islands. We just don't have executive meetings that we have to go to besides only the county itself. I helped assist and grown and worked alongside about 20 districts here on Oahu for the last 2 years since 2021 of being elected. Um, Currently, I'm actually the vice chair of Oahu County. We just got elected at our county convention that just happened. And being throughout this party and seeing such poor leadership at the top and knowing that to have a proper Republican Party in the state of Hawaii, there were some desperate changes that needed to be done. And I'm always for the people, but and standing for the people 100%. And this would be the only opportunity to help make Hawaii a red state. So that is kind of why I am running for state chair of the Republican Party today. So thank you. You're on mute. Sorry.
Thank you. I was trying to avoid the echo, which it seems like it's gone now. Thank you. Always technical issues when you're doing live, right? But now, Michael, the floor is yours. What brought you to the decision of this challenging and important position of running for the Hawaii Republican state chair?
Well, to be honest, when I saw Tim Dalhouse's slate, that's what motivated me to run for this. I see that as a uniparty group. I'm a constitutional conservative. I believe in the Constitution, and I believe that I have the skill set to make some changes in the party, how it operates, and how it works for my background in business, as well as what I've been doing for the last 30 years as a construction field engineer, running major projects and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. That's why I got involved, basically.
And maybe you could tell a little bit about yourself and your background. How long have you been in Hawaii?
I've been coming to Hawaii since the mid-90s, off and on. We decided to move here in about 2016. We actually started to move in 2018, 19, and actually moved here in the middle of the scamdemic. Had trouble getting my family out of Arizona. They shut down all the flights. I was here. They were checking my papers when I was on island to go up. But I stayed in different condos till I found a place to live. I came over here and was working. So, yeah, it was. And I asked the people that were doing this stuff, did I move to a communist country somehow? What's going on here? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of background. Now, my background basically is a little bit varied. I was at the age of 22, I was a store manager for McDonald's. I actually have a degree in hamburgerology. Not many people have those. Then I was with the operations supervisor for Wendy's for about 6 years, working too many hours. My kids were, I was getting up before they were out leaving and not getting home till after they were in bed. So I went back to college, graduated in 3 years, actually about 3.5. Got my engineering degree, and I've been in civil engineer and working in construction for the last, I don't know, 35 years, something like that. It's my position in that I'm responsible for the projects that I'm on, and they vary anywhere from several 100,000 to 700 million. 350 million was the largest, and I work with a diversity of people. I don't get to choose my slate, so I was a little kind of taken aback of the slate issue. I know Charlotte has one. I know Tim did the same thing. I work with whoever I'm have to deal with, and that's how I've always worked. That's how my job runs. I don't get to pick and choose. So I learned to deal with people. We focus on the end product, and in this instance, the end game here, as I look at it, is getting conservative Republicans elected to office. I want conservative domination in the legislature. That's what my vision is. And to get there, we start the precincts. We talk about ground up. The precincts are the line people for this organization. Everything we do has to do with the precincts. The districts, the county, and the state people are support for the precincts. We don't have a party if we don't have precincts. We have a 65% vacancy rate in precincts. That's not sustainable. So my emphasis is basically, I saw one of the other, I think it was somebody else has a servant leadership deal on their deal. I introduced that to the Arizona DOT back in the 90s. A fellow by the name of Robert Greenleaf came up with that eye. And what it says is, as the leader, as the servant leader, my job is to make sure that the folks that I'm responsible for have the tools, have the money, have education that they need to be successful. And that's where I push into this precinct. The precincts are the lifeblood. They're the backbone of any organization, and especially this organization. So that's where I come from on that. The other thing is, we talk about transparency. The biggest thing that I've seen and heard in most vociferous things that I've heard have to do with data. We don't have clean data. We need to have the information when people sign up, either with the party and to register. That needs to go out to the precincts. It goes through the county, it goes to the district, but the precincts need that information. That information, up to date, purged when it needs to be, clean information for us to know who is available to come into the party, and that's gold. That is gold. We need to protect that, and we need to make sure that the folks that need that information get it. And basically, it's the precincts. Everything focuses on the precincts, in my opinion.
Thank you. So I had informed both of you before ahead of time is to prepare a question for your opposition, so to speak. Have you guys prepared a question that you would like to ask the other? Are you ready to ask that question? I'll give it to you, Charlotte, if you want to go ahead.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you, I didn't. But I'll just wrote it, Michael. It's honorable that I get to see somebody from Kauai getting involved. That's awesome. Maybe simplistically, how long have you been with the Republican Party here in the state of Hawaii, and what have you done with the party since?
Well, with the Republican Party here in Hawaii, I was a member of the party, and I got recruited to come into the party in 2021. I went to the convention there. It was nonsense, pure nonsense. My opinion is, you put things up for a vote, you vote, win or lose, that's what you do. And they pulled some shenanigans where they voted not to vote, and I didn't want to participate in that. This is not something that I want to be involved with. It's like, you can't move forward if you're just going to spin your wheels. And I'm all for it. Put it up for a vote. Let the people decide, and then go on. I left out, and then I got the things I saw going on. I got involved again. My wife actually ran for county council here, so we were doing that from June through the election. She actually filed complaints with the county. It's also with the state. She even got an attorney to write them or actually sign off on them about the audits. They don't audit. What they're doing is garbage. I'll just make it that way. So, and then I decided to get involved in helping her with that. And then that's how I came back into getting involved here. I ran against, well, I didn't like what I was seeing with the party here on this island. And that's when I decided, like 2 weeks before, I said, somebody's got to go. So I decided to run for the county chair, and I lost by 4 votes, but it was pretty quick. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've been a lifelong Republican. My dad was a Republican. My grandpa was a Republican. And what I'm really tired of is, since they died, they all vote Democrat. So I'm not quite sure, that's pretty crazy. But anyway, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Now, do you have a question prepared for Charlotte?
Sure. Charlotte, what do you know? What do you know about ranked choice voting? Have you researched that at all?
Well, if all in all, I know it's not for the people. Second of all, no, I didn't do the extensive research, but I know for sure that I'm opposed for it. It's not right, and it's just another nail in the coffin from all of this crap that they're doing in our legislature, respectfully. I mean, not much to say about it. I just know it's just hogwash. And just like Act 136, this mail-in ballots gotta go. They're just so much bad about it. So, and I appreciate, all the stuff that Ralph Kushney has been doing up there in Kauai and filing all those cases, and so far I've been watching in the background of all those cases. And I think it's extensive of what we need to stand together and ensure that, we are united for the righteousness and we had people fight and die for us to learn to be able to vote, and like I said before, I didn't understand the pertinence of voting. And now that I understand that pertinence, I had my son registered at the age of 18, and he comes registering voting with me. So it's about leaving the legacy to the new generation and trying to hold on to what we have left and fight for what we have been given. That's kind of where I'm at. So I hope that answers your question, sir.
Thank you. So, Charlotte, I know that there's been a lot of things that have gone on, and I know that you're such a passionate person. I've seen you at work for the past couple of years since I've, been involved and held a position within the Republican Party of Hawaii. Is there anything that you could take back or that you regret that you might want to use this opportunity to talk about?
Regret. I never regret because I always live daily for what I do. I mean, what people say about me, I have no control over that. I know what is right and I know what is proper, and I will always stand for the people no matter what. I mean, regretting, I'm trying to think back if there's any particular thing. I outlived 7 people within my life, and I guess the regret is probably like not spending enough time with Uncle John before he passed away. That would probably be the only part of regret, because I miss that old man with all my heart. He was like almost a best friend. But yeah, no, this journey of being in the Republican Party has taught me so much about Robert's rules. It has taught me about how to be a statesman stronger, how to not let politicians ruin my life, and I just got to stand and be what God has given me or given me the authority to do within my own purview or my own self,
Okay.
So I don't hope that answers your question, but
Thank you. Michael, earlier you had said something, you were inspired to run because you were discouraged by the Tim Dollhouse slate. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Certain individuals in that group, I don't trust them. And I think we need to start anew. The party is in the position it's in due to the folks that were here before me and before the folks here. And I'm an open person. I deal with lots of money. It's not my money. And the money that comes into this party belongs to the party. I don't do back deals. Everything I do is up in the open. If there's a decision to be made financial wise, that needs to be done as a group. I'm not a dictator. I am not a micromanager. People have their own. I want to focus on. I see the same stuff going on. That's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
So to explain it, that's what I see. We need to change the image here. We need to be the aloha party. We need to be the respectful party. There's so much passion here, and I hear people and the frustration. Most of it has to do with not getting good data, but we need to look at how are we perceived outside the party. And that perception needs to be changed. And I have ideas on how to change that. And basically that's it. So yeah, I just saw what was just going to be a continuation of what I would consider uniparty.
Okay. So just a couple more questions before I let you guys do your closing thoughts and how people can contact you. The first thing is we'll start with you, Michael, and then we'll go to Charlotte. Is what would be the three things that you would want to accomplish within a month of being elected?
First three things within a month. Number one, get the data issue straightened out. I've heard that we are all volunteers. Data needs to be part of the budget. We need to make sure that we have clean data, and it's got to go to where it needs to go. So that would be the first thing that I do. The next thing I would do is I looked at the calendars. There's nothing on them. So I would like to start getting community events started. We need to be 3 F's: family, fun, and food. We've already, in my district, we just had a meeting last Sunday. We're going to start having one a quarter. And of course, we're going to have beach parties. We're on Kauai. So we plan on having one a quarter. I'd like to do more than that, but we have great luau out here. So we're going to be doing it with the best in the state. And that sounds like a competition. It is. We need to compete. Friendly competition. The third thing is getting folks to understand that you can disagree, but it doesn't mean we're enemies. I mean, in the business that I've been in, we get into it. I'm going to work with contractors. We get into it all the time, but you know what? It's not personal. You know, I can disagree, we can disagree, and then it's time to go eat lunch. We go eat lunch together. And I think some of what has to happen is we need to step back and say, what does this do? What are we, before I say something that I might regret, what does that image project to the party? So I mean, we can come together and we talk about what we want to be perceived at, how we want to be perceived. And I think it's very important that we do that. We even here at our county, we agreed to hire a PR firm to help us, or person to help us with some of the public relations. I think the party needs to do that. So kind of long-winded, but those are the first three things that I would look at.
Thank you, Michael. How about you, Charlotte? What are the first three things you would do in the first month if you were elected?
Okay, thank you, Tamara. First and foremost, audit. We need to correct these books. We don't know where the money's going. We don't know how the money's being spent. We are told something and something else comes of it, that would be my first most important thing, to get my treasurer working right on it. The second most pertinent thing to me is calling a state committee meeting instantly within the first month to ensure that I get the voice of the people of what they want to tackle first. If it is doing another state convention for the rules or whatever has to be done, I will make sure that the voice of the people are gonna be my driving wagon. I'm here to just facilitate. I'm not here to say what needs to be done. I want to hear what people want to do and how we can move forward as a body, because the body has been usurped for way too long. That's the second one. And, those are the two big ones right now. I mean, there's so much other things I want to do, like, ensuring that all my people that get in office, I mean, the state website has been down for as long as I've been in the party, and it has never really been updated, maybe twice. And for instance, the state website was changed without the body's approval, and so that's where we have to all come together to make sure that we're all getting permission from the body of where it's supposed to be. I mean, there's so much to do, but I guess basically ensuring that we got enough people coming together and making sure that we got all of our people working together, whoever gets elected, and if I can just put a little bit on the slate, I only got the slate because of that shenanigans that happened in 2021. And I told everybody, because I've been working so hard, that I'm putting my name out for everybody that is on that little slate for them. Some of them just got in the party, but their heart is pure and wanting to do difference for Hawaii. But again, financial transparency audit that has to be done. State committee meeting, it's almost like the State of the Union, so we all come together and make sure that we're on the same page. And I guess the third most important would be just like making sure we have like standard operating procedures for all of the district chairs and so on and so forth as they're moving, as we're coming together. We got to brainstorm and see how we can have this procedure throughout all the counties, so we have a set standard, so we all can work as a team together, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, other than that, thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. And a couple more quick questions that I get a couple questions thrown in here at me too, which are important for delegates who are considering, who to vote for. As a state chair, what position do you take in regards to how you're going to lead? Are you going to lead from the top down and try and control the counties, or are you more in support of a leadership to allow the counties to work with their grassroots and do what they're supposed to do under their own guided bylaws? Go ahead, Charlotte.
Thank you, Tamara. I can never see or comprehend or understand how somebody can tell people what to do. It's all about collaborative minds coming together, because I think the more perceptions and the more people looking at a specific situation or a topic, it's a broader perspective when you have more minds being together. So I like I said, I am just here to ensure that everybody gets a voice and making sure that we're all getting together. And that's how I would run as the state chair here for our state.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you.
How about you, Mike?
I'm sorry, can you repeat what you actually asked her?
Would you be more of a state chair that wants to run for the top down and be more involved with directing the counties, or are you more allowing one that would allow the counties to run from the grassroots up under their bylaws?
Well, I think I explained that in the very beginning that the precincts are the backbone of the organization. As far as my role, I look at as the state chair role as keeping the vision and making sure that we keep in mind whatever we do, that what our goal is. What is the final goal? And the things that we're doing to get there, are they going to get us there? And if they're not, we need to step back and say, you guys, is this really going to help us get people elected. And it's not to micromanage. It's just to say, I'm not going to tell you not to do anything. That's not right. It's not my position to do that. But sometimes we need to talk about, is this going to benefit us? And my goal is to keep everybody between the navigational beacons. Sometimes it's a back and forth. As long as they're going toward where we want to be, I'm not a micromanager. And it depends. And like I tried to explain before, when you're in the position like what I've been in, you make decisions based on the talent that you have. What's the skill set? I mean, different skill sets are in each different precinct. They're going to attack different problems different ways. That's great. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You guys are going to figure it out. Are we going toward the goal that we want to achieve? Whatever your method is, that's what you need to do. It's your guys' boat. You guys figure out how you're going to get there. But we always need to stay focused on what is the end. What is the end game, and are we getting there? Is what we're doing going to get us to where we want to be?
Thank you. And of course, I have to ask you the same questions that I asked the others before I let you guys have your closing statements. Charlotte, do you think that Saturday is going to be a fair election? You got to unmute so we can hear you laughing.
Can I abstain? Just joking.
Well,
just
that's
joking.
an answer in itself, you know.
That is a vote, isn't it? No.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I object.
you know, I'm sorry. It's just a handful of, it depends. I mean, we hear so many things from so many people, and I guess it all leads down to trusting in the Lord with all our heart, lean not unto our own understanding, but in every way acknowledge him, and he makes our path straight, and just trusting in him, because he knows what needs to be done. And if we try to do it ourselves, we just get railroaded. So it's about, I'm sorry, I can't really give you a straightforward answer, Tamara, but if I was able to perceive the future, man, I don't think I'd be running for the state chair.
Right.
But it's all in the Lord's hands. That's all I can say, in a due respect way. I mean, this is exactly, do we want this kind of leadership any longer? That's why I'm tired of this appointed stuff. That's why we got to give it back to the people, and we just got to trust in him.
Thank you.
That's all I can say. Thank you.
Okay. You, Michael, do you think it's going to be a fair election?
I think it's going to be a fair election. I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be 350 crazy Republicans going to set their party where they want to go. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have a good time there. I'm going to meet a lot of new people. I hope to meet a lot of people that I may disagree with. They may disagree with me, but we can all decide that this is what we want to do. And it's gonna be a blast. We're gonna have fun.
Awesome. Well, Michael, if you want to go ahead and start and give your 60-second closing speech of why people should vote for you, and then how they can contact you.
Okay. Why should you vote for me? I'm involved with Seth Keschel. I talked to him. He is endorsing my candidacy. He's also putting our poster up on his social media sites. And his first two items he wants, and I agree with these, is we need to clean up the voter rolls. We need to clean them up. We have to get rid of the no mail-in ballots. We have to get rid of those. Those are the two most important things that we need to work on. Also, talk with Ralph Cushney. He's actually one of my precinct chairs. Really nice guy. He's a contractor. Got to the Supreme Court. Got them to the degree that Nago had created an illegal election, and then the court decided that there's no harm. I'm not quite sure how that works that way. Same with William Dean. He went through I think it's the First Circuit Court, came up with a similar response. We need to hammer them on these decisions that are coming out of these places. That's not legal. You don't have to prove harm, and it just shows you what we're trying to deal with. So those are the things that we really need, that I am really behind. The party needs to get behind those, and their efforts need to be, we need to help them with those efforts. How you can reach me is open a new email site because I want to kind of separate them a little bit, but it's michael@michaeljauch.com. Make it easy just for me. And then my phone number is 808-346-6002, and that's a personal number.
Thank you so much. And Charlotte?
Okay, 60 seconds. Why you guys want to vote for me? Well, a lot of people knew me from running and doing what I did. And for the people that didn't know me, feel free to call me anytime. I have always kept my phone lines open. Whenever people needed assistance, I was always there for them 24/7, 7 days a week. My passion is to have a two-party state. That's what I want it to happen by the ending of my tenure. When I get in, I want to make sure that we have the proper candidates. I want to make sure that the voice, we have, how do you say it? It's like, I just see, once we take back the Republican Party for the voice of the people, the next step is the legislature. That's what my vision is. And when we get the final results of state chair, I give you guys my word that we will have a two-party state. So I humbly ask for you guys vote. If you guys need my information, it's a joke because I'm an electrician by trade. You can get shock in water. So you get electrocuted if you stand in water. So it's SHOCK, N is in Nancy, H is in Henry, 2. The only thing is an O at the end. It's not a 0. It won't get it. So, and that's at Gmail, at Proton, at HawaiianTel.net. I got them all. So anybody wants to hit me up on that, you're welcome to. But mostly I do Gmail. Everybody mostly has my number, 808-306-2392. You probably can even Google it and it pops up. But, yeah, ku'iluna kako. Let's stand together.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I know from the feedback that I've been getting is people really appreciate hearing from you and the rest of the candidates because they haven't gotten quite an opportunity to get to know everybody because we're separated by water instead of a straight line with a road to connect us. So the more that we can stay in the public eye and share our beliefs and know that we're on the same page, that's what's most important. So with that being said, I thank you, and I will see some of you tomorrow and Saturday. And hopefully, regardless, like what Mike had said, we're going to have some disagreements. Definitely anticipate that. But hopefully that we can do it peacefully and respectfully. And again, at the end of the day, join arm in arm. So I want to thank you and everybody who has tuned in and our sponsor. And please join in every Thursday at 3 o'clock with Red Time Stories, Hawaii Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be expanding our show that will incorporate other voices from all over the nation and guests from all over as well. I look forward to showing you our little snippets of Talk Story in the Red Zone, and I hope that you tune in. Please feel free to contact me. Again, it's rightAsRed@pm.me, or you can find us on Facebook, Red Time Stories, as well as Instagram. Aloha, everyone. Be safe and God bless.
Thank you, Tamara.